through this cone, and the air is going to blow out the other end. So it opens it up to let the metal go in there. We burn it out with the funnel down, because if you don't, you ruin everything. That wax will boil in there and tear your mold up. All right, that's it. We're going to go do this. Right in here. This is my burnout kit. I buy these things for $1, $2, and at the very most $5 at garage sales. And I just keep looking till I find them. I've got a number of them. You never know when one of them's going to go to heck with you. Okay? This is the top of my burnout kit. Lined with fresh aluminum foil. I've made a handle so I can pick it up easily. I take my mold, I set it right in the middle, and I have cast more than one at a time, but not this large. Set it in the middle, cover it with the pot, and I'm going to plug it in. And I checked ahead of time to make sure it would heat here, because I wanted to make sure we had electricity out here. Well, it's hard to get in there, but it goes. Yeah, there comes the heat. Okay, now we just walk away. How long do you wait? It will probably take, as big as that is, a couple of hours, but we're going to come out long before that. In about 15 minutes, we're going to come out 10 minutes. Okay? So, if you look in, what is it, and then you can see the brown, the wax. Okay, now we're going to go set them up. And once I got the elephant done, I made the cone. The Hershey's Kisses. And I attached it to the elephant at the place would it work best to cast that particular figure. Now here is something important. If you are doing, let's say, a bird, and here he is, and he's on 2 feet and on a little base, you got to decide what direction you're going to cast him from. Well, the direction of the metal is all going to go in one way. So I would put my cone up here on his head so that the metal would catch his beak and catch all his body. But supposing you do something like this. Or maybe we'll make it even a little more complicated. This guy's going to have an arm down and an arm up. Okay, then you got to do something. You got to reach all of those parts. Flow is all going in one direction. Well, if I did him like this with one arm down, I'd probably cast off of here, run a piece of wax down to his head, run a piece of wax off his arm down into here, and now everything's going to cast again. But you've got to think about those things, guys. You've got to catch everything. Elephant's easy. Where's the elephant?
Right here.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. The elephant's easy because everything, the way I've got him set up, everything is going to catch. Now, on the piece that I've got out there burning it out, that's my little dachshund. And she's on her back, and her back is arched, and her little feet are up, and her tail is wrapped around. So she's got 2 feet going this way, and 2 feet coming up this way. How am I going to get all of them? I put a little strip of wax between the front feet to the back feet, and now everything can flow all the way through. You must remember that when you do this. Okay, so now we've got the elephant. What did I have to do before I put this elephant? First of all, here's my can. I do not want to waste investment. It's not terribly expensive, but it's not cheap either. So what I do, I take a magic marker and I come up and I mark this with at least 1/4 of an inch, up to about 1/2 an inch. I don't like to go any further, so I end up here. Well, I've already taken my shears and cut one out at that length. And I have to know how much this elephant weighs. Well, if you're poor and you don't have a scale, then you can do what they call water replacement. You push this little guy down in a glass of water until he's underwater. You mark where the water was before, you mark where the water rose to when you pushed him down in there. Then you pull him out and you put your metal into there until it rises to that place again. So you don't have to have a scale to figure out how much metal you need. Okay, I've already done that. He is, I wrote it down somewhere. Here, right here. He is 126 grams of bronze. So he weighed 12.6 grams. Have to go 10 times. So I've weighed this all out. Actually, he weighed 12.6, but we got a little extra. So this is what I'm going to use to cast this elephant. And I've got it measured out, and I want to keep it there. Now I have to get him in there. Now you notice, it's another thing I wanted to tell you. I use cans that you can use a can opener to take the top off, and you can use a can opener to take the bottom off, because they both have to come off. So, where did you put your matches, Piglet? Right in front.
Yeah.
Just keep
You just
helping.
moved them.
Yeah, just
They
keep
were
helping
over
me,
there.
guys. Just keep helping me. Now, I actually have a little bit of a couple of pieces of wax that I just stuck down in there, if you looked at it. I found that's kind of easy, because then it tells me when I'm ready to. So I'm looking down on there, watching those to melt. And they melted pretty well. So that should stay hot enough for me to get this little elephant in there.
Because what would the bird look like?
What now?
What would the bird look like?
If you would have
It
kept
would have
the
been
bird.
damned ugly. Damn, that was an ugly bird.
It's a cute elephant, though.
Yeah, the elephant turned out all right. And that's just a case of adding wax and taking wax away. It's just like anything. Okay, I'm giving it a little moment to set up, and then I'm going to send it around again, because I want him to stay in place. Now here is the important thing, guys. You don't want to get too close to the edge anywhere, because you can break through and lose your metal up the side. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself some room. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, but make sure you're giving yourself some room. Sometimes when things come up and spread out, I press the can sideways. You know. So and also, if you can't find a can, you can cut off a little piece of metal tubing. Set your piece on a piece of glass, seal it to the glass, set your can around it, take a little clay, seal it off, and you can do it that way. You don't have to use, but these are so reasonable. They're just perfect for what you need.
What are those cans from?
This is individual juice cans.
Yeah, I was about to say, they look like V8 cans.
Yeah, well, they're smaller than V8s. Now, the one I've got out there
Tomato
is
juice or something.
cans my sister gave me, which is some sort of diet crap that you take. You know
Oh,
what I'm
like
talking
the
like
insurers or
Yes, those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
You
bigger.
dump those down the thing.
Yeah. So I keep looking everywhere for unusual cans, because you never know.
What about the
when you're
Hunt's tomato sauce or tomato paste can?
They are lower and a little bit wider, a little bit bigger, but they'll work. You know, depending on how deep you're going to go.
You just have to be careful about the bottom of the can that it will fit in the cutter because of the,
Tilt it.
what are you talking about?
There you
Yeah,
go.
well,
For the
here's
investment?
here's
Because I started to use a can that didn't have this, it was a punch
no.
can.
It's gonna be.
Recording the
Gotta have that on
process.
the
Yeah,
box.
you've
So like
gotta
if
be
you
able
can't
to
see
cut
inside
them
the
with
can, her
open
expression is.
both ways.
I'm not in the picture right now.
No, you're not.
Thank God.
So that's why pressed cans wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Okay, so now we're ready to set this up. And we're going to use, and this stuff is, I'm not saying this stuff is cheap. This is jeweler's investment. I buy it, I think I bought 100 pounds of it. So I've had it a long time.
A big bag.
Oh, it's not even a bag, it comes in a box, a cardboard box with a cardboard top. And now I need to mix my investment. I'm gonna run around and take a look at it. That's my investment. And so, first thing I need is water. So I'll go get some water. I love doing this.
Investment. Jewelry investment.
It has some fiberglass in it, I believe. It has silica probably in it. It has a lot of plaster of Paris, but it has other.
Yeah, investment.
Oh, baby.
You can wear it from real good.
I have one that's older than
I take a big bag. I don't think there's anywhere.
Thing on that other
We're not investing. Remember we had that big
Used by
catalog exam?
052807.
Let me tell you something. If you're actually going to try to do this, take notes. Always learn to take notes.
Can I use this chair for a little bit while I finish what I was doing earlier?
Oh, I found my sketch pen.
I have a.
But I'm sitting in this chair. You did? Yes.
Well, that's up to you, but I'm telling you,
I'll be done in like.
I always think I know everything, and I
Doing some
don't.
screws in the groove.
Okay.
Now, I called you, did I not?
Yes,
Isn't
you
that right
did.
now?
Yes.
Those things you think you know,
Right
and
now?
then you get off. So you're real good about saying, no, here's what you need.
Here.
So you ought to give out your phone number when you get that.
Okay, now here's the next thing. How much water do I need? How much investment do I need? Well, I'll tell you how much water you need approximately. About 2/3 to 3/4 filling this little can. Why did I bring another one? So that I can figure that out, sort of. I'll get close. I won't be exact. Okay, I think we've got plenty there. So I don't need the rest of this, so I'll put it in here. Now, how much investment do I need? A lot more than you think. So I'm going to put this in my bowl. You're such a cute little elephant. There. I'm going to start mixing investment, and I'm going to kind of shake it in here. Shake it in here, shake it in here. Add a little more. Shake it in there. And now I'm going to start mixing it. Now, what you do, don't just stir it as fast as you can, because you're trying to keep air bubbles out of it. Because if you get air bubbles in it, and they're touching your piece, they're going to pass as a solid ball of metal. So we're, now, I forgot to tell you one thing. Where is that cute little elephant? Did you notice how shiny he was?
Mm-hmm.
I sprayed that with Zinsser Bull's Eye Shellac, which is a resist, which helps. I didn't do it on the other piece because I had already had her in the can, but I did it on this. Most of the time I haven't used it, but when you cast with bronze or whatever, try to remember to spray your piece just before you put it. We're getting there, guys. We're getting really close. Don't bump your head.
No, I already have a hole in it.
Did you bleed?
Yes.
Okay, now what happens, guys, if I pour this in there and I'm short? What am I going to do?
Mix them all.
Just quickly mix it a little bit more. Yeah, pour it back in.
Yeah, as long as it's still curing, it will still form to
So is
itself.
it kind of like plaster when you sift through it to make sure
It's
everything?
very
Yeah.
much
Okay.
like plaster. It is plaster
Okay.
with something, few other items added to make it heat resistant. Now notice this.
Fine sand.
See how my fingers come out and they're staying white? That's how much you need. When the hand comes out and it stays white, you've got enough.
Does it have to be thicker in there? Or?
Nope.
No,
That's good.
No.
that's what it takes.
Kind of think of it like buttermilk.
Okay, I'm gonna put it here. And where's your hammer? Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna beat on this.
Vibrating it.
If you want a quieter alternative, you can get a palette knife and stick it on there and just kind of shake the palette knife and it'll shake the bottle.
You can also lay it on an upturned box fan.
That too.
Or if you have one of those football games from the 1970s.
Yeah.
That works really good for when you're doing resin.
I've used one.
When you're mixing
I
resin, you can
bounced
do it,
up
lay it
a
on
little
a fan.
bit of
and it'll-
bubbles, but not very much. Now, I pour this down over the little elephant, around a little elephant. I've got it full, and I immediately pour it back out, unless it's too delicate. And I start blowing on it. You're trying to blow the investment into any place you miss. And now I do it again. Trying to coat him well. If there's a place where I think I might trap air, I turn it somewhat sideways, as in the back of his head. You know, there's a dip in the back of the head. There we go. Ah, you're making a mess. I didn't think you were making a mess.
I don't think little Julie's investment's going to hurt this table.
No, it's
In a shop, though, they would have like a vacuum chamber for this.
oh yeah, they have all kinds of equipment that's expensive. But we're showing you how to do it cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Okay. It's there. Now I'm a little more careful, but I do the same. What happens if he pops to the top? It can happen because it has happened. Comes loose at the bottom, pops to the top. Get that stuff out of there and quickly go wash them off. Start all over.
Drumming lessons.
I didn't think this was about learning how to use a claw hammer.
Not bad.
I
It's
didn't
a
know
different
how.
use for a claw hammer.
Okay. I got it. I'm assuming it's done.
It's a lesson called Claw Hammers and Degassing Your Investment.
I had a tiny bit of investment left over. I put a tiny bit on the table. I'm going to see if I can get that just to even crawl a tiny bit tall.
Is there shrinkage on this at all?
Nah, not really. Now, it'll sit there, and pretty soon it'll set up. It'll take about a half an hour for it to set up well. And as it's setting up, it gets hot. Because I assume it's a chemical action.
It has some plaster in it, but it's a different mix.
Yeah. Okay, and so it's going to set up, and then what am I going to do next?
Take the
You're gonna
bottom
cut
part
the
off,
bottom out,
and then
right?
you're gonna
Hold
take
it.
your kiss out.
Yeah, and I'm going to tip that up, and if I'm lucky, it often happens, the kiss will pull out with that cap. If not, I carefully take it out. I don't want to have to put anything more on these than I have to, and besides, I am Jewish. Not religiously, but I am very tight. So if I could save wax, I reuse it. I wash those off and use them again. Okay, I'm going to clean up my hands, and then we're going to go out and see if that is starting to really look nasty. Yeah.
Good, the dog just fell asleep.
The dog fell asleep. Well, give me a moment. Now, don't put this stuff down the sink. It sets, stuff like this will
You'll
set
be
the
replacing
sink.
your pipe.
The
What?
same.
You'll be replacing your P-trap.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could probably wash my hands now, but I won't even worry about it right there. Okay, let's slide you over away a little bit. Now, guys, don't leave this stuff out in the air. You want to keep the moisture out of it. So I'm closing it right back
I think I
up
have
again.
some of those moisture absorbing packets if you want one.
Oh, this will be all right. I don't worry about it, Frank, but thank you. Okay, now let's go take a look at that and let's see if it's starting to boil and simmer and steam, and it's gonna look like this can't possibly work. And it will.
Cool.
Now, see how ugly it's getting on the top?
Yeah.
Well, that's the wax burning off. That's the carbon in the wax. And as long as it's black like that, it is not ready to cast. It cleans up. Now what we'll do, we'll leave it like this now for at least an hour, and then I'll come out and check it. What I'll do is I'll get a hold of it, and I'll turn it over and look down on the inside and see how clean it is. And once we've got it clean on both sides, I'm just going to pick the whole thing up with gloves and carry it inside and plug it in inside so that we can do the casting inside. But you don't want this, at least in your own place, you don't want this stuff burning in your studio. So I do it just outside my studio, and then I bring it inside to finish.
Can I see it again?
Yeah, I didn't see the.
Now what you're smelling there is that wax coming down, starting to melt on the outside.
Hate that smell.
And that,
Oil.
that's just the flour pump oil?
Aluminum foil. Shiny side out. It was working.
Right. That's why we say whenever you're barbecuing. I tell people that all the time.
Now I'm going to set this back here. So I have it to pick up. Okay, that's it.
He
Now,
has a knee fetish and an elbow fetish.
everything's done for a little bit. And put up.
Oh, sorry.
Just so you know, over your shoulder.
Steve?
Jared.
Jared? Okay, Jared,
Yeah.
I'm getting close to done.
Okay.
I would like you to go over there, lift the pot off,
Okay.
there's a glass there, get a good grip on it, bring it over here, and set it right there.
All right. Tell me when.
It'll be a little bit, but it takes a while to get that stuff out of it. Boy, the minute you start doing this, you need to scratch the nose of the worst way.
Do you want to use my finger?
And I'll try.
I guess it depends.
Pop your nose there.
Yes.
Oh, you need
And
to
you're
crucible's like ceramic.
It's
The crucible made her little crucible made. So I think it's ceramic. Ceramic, yeah.
Is the one under the burnout or the one on the table?
the furthest one over by the wall.
Okay.
I'm not ready yet, but
I
see
know.
when it's good and hot. Now this is white powdered flux, guys. It helps to bring it to a melting point. It helps to keep the oxidation off the surface. Okay, patiently now, there and slowly. There's water right in there by the table. There's my bucket. Bring the bucket and bring this. I'm not saying good or right inside. Bring the bucket. Didn't find the bucket? No, not yet. Okay, it's
What bucket is he wanting to find?
There's water right in there where
Oh, he got it.
the rolling tables are.
So we just need Jared back. He has a thing.
Okay.
Jared's gone with the thing.
Do we use this for a dipper or?
Well, we need Jared.
We need the plunger.
So, where's Jared?
Jared,
We got it.
We have the part we need.
grab the bucket, Jared.
All right.
Here's the one.
Piglet will start the car down. All right, here we
You need
go.
some extra hands or something?
I got it.
She said in there.
Certainly is a lovely
She
smell.
did it was in there.
Huh?
I said that certainly is
That's
a lovely
okay.
smell.
I mean, I
Don't
would have
prepare it
thought
behind.
that
I
too.
just
She
poured
pointed
a
that
little
way.
bit
But it would,
I think because you were over there, so she pointed
That's
that
okay.
way.
Right. Where can you get that plunger tool? I've never seen those. Is it Miracle Whip brand?
Very. Well, you can't get them anymore, you know? They don't make metal leads anymore.
I know.
So use
Baby food jars.
tuna can lids. You cut them down. Well, we'll see what we got. I hope we got you, Betsy. Okay, let's see how close we are with the other. It doesn't take very long with the other. I was perfectly prepared. Dump the water into the table. Send poor Jared.
I went the wrong way.
It's all right. They got it. Frank found it. You brought it back. That's all we need.
You want that wet, but not dripping.
Yeah, I'd rather it didn't drip because the drip will really start to slip.
Yep.
I thought you were recording.
Okay.
You got nothing.
Very good.
Okay.
Now here's another thing, guys. See, I've got my water here. The worst thing you can do is bring that mold over here, over the water, slip and drop it. Your mold is gone. I did this once, casting with the kids. Your mold is gone. There you are. It's bubbling away down there. Yeah. Well, I knew them, but the kids learned them pretty fast. I still smoke. Yeah.
Somebody asked which one that was. This is the wiener dog, and that
Yeah,
one's
this is the wiener dog if we got him. I never know till I pop him out of there. Usually I do, but I can screw up, I can tell you. Obviously. One of the things you can do is put your hands around this and look down in and see if it's still red. Because it won't look red until you shade it and look down. But I don't see it red at all, so we're going to try. We're hoping we have it finished. See if I see a bitch. I see a bitch. Bitch, not bitch. Bitchy is my puppy. Although she is pretty bitchy. See it coming out?
Well, yeah.
See her little butt end? Oh, let's hope we got her all the way. That stuff is boiling out of there. Rear end, I hope we got her fine. Now see, Frank? You can do him. You can do your puppy.
I don't think you'd fit in that can.
Well, she's in there. Ah, she's a little cutie. I like her.
That's not mashed potatoes, man. You can't eat it.
Wow.
Like sitting down. She's laying on her back.
Yeah, she's laying on her back, kicking up her feet. Now, you could be so cheap, you would use these a second time. I don't go that far. When I had this demonstrated to me years ago, the guy who demonstrated it was a farmer, and he used those little propane sweat torches. So you don't have to have oxyacetylene. You would for something that size. I think for the elephant, you could get away with maybe two, somebody else helping you, with propane sweat torches to melt your metal. So you're not limited. The people who I taught at Hutch Community College, the women, were casting little golden rings and using propane or nat gas and nat gas. Nat gas gets a little hotter. Yeah, it's a little better.
And then you just, to get the color back, you just clean it up. And
You clean it up, take all the bumps out of it. You can, if you want it bright bronze, you polish it. I don't like bright bronze. I usually use liver of sulfur on it. Did everybody get to see it?
and
We're coming around. Well, I'm going to have time to cast the other one, so we're going to see it. Did you get to see it? Now,
I'm mixing up sluts. That's just.
it's the same stuff, well, basically, it's just a white salt.
I was watching that man show the other day just making them hammers. This guy was using his hammer, bright red.
I was like,
Close on, yeah.
Yeah, something on there. He said, I forget what he said, but
Well, one thing, it breaks up the oxidation on the surface. Okay, now, something else I'm going to tell you. Now I forgot what it was.
I know you saw it. I think it's one of the words.
Oh, I know what I was. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys, but the first thing I did when I came out of school here in 2000, JB was teaching casting, and Barry says, you better take casting first. Well, he wanted to get rid of me, and JB wanted to get rid of all of us, and he was working on this, what's that group, religious group, the sculpture for the Scientologists. So he says, okay, you're going to do a portrait head, serious business, life size. He just made us do that so we were out of his way. Well, I knew a little everything right. He kept telling them I did everything right. They always screwed up. So we cast. You know which one blew up? Mine. Blew out right behind the ear. JP says, get sand, get sand, get sand. So we got sand, filled it up, cast it. This whole side is my mother's portrait of my mother's head, slightly over one side. This whole side of the head was gone. The nose was just a skin on the outside, and the beak was with a whole empty spot in between. So I just melted bronze and poured it down there. And I cast this piece in 4 sections with the SteamCasting. No, 3 sections. I just made the wax, cut it in 3 sections, and cast it, and then welded it back together. So there is something to think about. This is very handy for little things. Now, what's her name? I always say the teacher here.
What?
The gal that was the you were talking to. She, Lisa. Yeah, Lisa. Lisa was repairing Remington sculptures. Good money. She cast little pieces like this to weld back on to repair them. So you want to remember that there's all kinds of possibilities besides these little fun ones.
Yep.
And if you got a hole, you just carefully weld it back together with, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Silica rods. Yeah, silica rods. Yeah, be careful.
You can make babies.
Where did that idea?
Yeah, it's just kind of odd for you to say that.
That's what reminded me of poetry.
I have cast little embryo babies. You know the little bug baby. What time is it?
How much longer do you think it'd be for it's ready?
10 or 15 minutes. Are we going to still have class?
So it's 4:25.
Okay, yeah, it should cast. I could probably cast it now. Always like to make myself. Is just move that little one over to the other turnout.
Do what?
I moved the little one out of there to that one over there. Yeah, so there's not so much wax, and it's not particularly clean because we're going to do it with the other now.
Yeah, but you're totally gonna want to go.
Okay. Let's take one last look at this little thing. Well, I think all the wax is out. I'm going to turn it right side up now. So it's ready. Be careful. There they are. I'll go fast.
Hurry, baby.
Yeah, I did.
Just open that so you can get a view of
Are you gonna bring it to me again, Jared?
Yep.
Okay, just a moment.
Go that way.
I moved the water.
I see it.
You left it there, and you said it's by my table, and I went that way.
But you tried. All right. Take your time.
I am behind you.
Thank you. I always like to say, trouble and boil, trouble and boil. Snake breath, lizard lips, rose hips, and snub dip.
Wood is on fire.
Yeah, it'll be all right. We don't care for cruelty. We don't sweat the small stuff. Now this one may not be as clean because I didn't have it burned out as well. But I think we better get it. Now see how red it is if I put my hands around it? Can you see how red it is?
Oh, yeah.
See, it's still too red to put in there. You can't tell it looking there, but if you shade it, you can see it's still red. So, I will go over here and plug this.
I'm gonna unplug that thing back here. Oh, you got it?
Okay. Sorry, I'll let that cool off a little bit before I see how red it is down in there? See that difference between them? Yeah, you want to wait until the red goes off.
Now you're gonna edit that part out.
I'm not. It's gonna be in there.
But see how professional I was.
It's a good thing you saved that excellent piece of TV.
Well, I didn't quite save it. There's a few spots that are a little burnt. Not serious.
That was gonna be my tabletop.
Well, that really won't be something tabletop. Well, what the hell? Let's find out. I think you're getting impatient. I always get impatient.
You find liquid water?
Yeah.
There is the elephant. Ah, shoot. It's still liquid. We gotta stop.
What happened?
It's still liquid. It's still liquid. It's popping out. We gotta wait.
That's like,
Maybe not too much of a hurry. I think I lost his trunk. Well, I'll have to weld it back on. I got in too much of a hurry. So it's gonna have to wait a little bit. Maybe I should take it off the table.
Sounds like a dinosaur.
He never sounds like a dog.
You need some,
I am just not
water
patient.
shooting pretty warm right now. Get back.
Point out to him that I put that in the water too fast.
It's got the old style electrode, so they are wired in. They pull the wires loose when they fix it. Even though we need them. But they're in the spot where the heat's going to go again.
You get some cooler water for you if you want.
No, it's not that hot. It's okay.
You actually have like lights that shine in instead of
Not a few out there.
Well, we lost a little bit of him when we bubbled him out of there. Yeah, well, living and learning. It's in too much of a hurry.
and they won't let up.
Well, they will.
That's just his trunk. All right, learn from mistakes too. Well, I'll weld it back on there and just build it back up.
See what we get there.
What I do is just, I need more light on my magnet.
Yeah,
Take them high and plug them in and take them down when I'm done.
Couple of fans. One light fans.
Oh, maybe I didn't lose enough to matter. Yeah, I did a little bit. No.
Way better than
But not
I just make it look like we get it back away.
Well, I don't know. My dad, he uses.
I didn't send out a
Did you lose any of it, or did you just lose the?
I think just maybe the tip, it probably is going to be all right, but even if I did, I could weld it.
Yeah, because that just looks like flashing or something.
Yeah, I think it may be all
So,
right.
where's my camera? Yeah. No, I think you just lost just some flashing. So.
The fixture's all ceramic.
Notice how much dirtier it is, though? I
Yeah.
should have burned it out a little longer, but I figure, we're going to lose the class.
Yeah. So I don't actually think you lost even any of the trunk because it looks like that finished.
Yeah, it looks like the trunk's still in there.
Yeah.
It's all still there.
Because it's still curved and like. So I think it's
Yeah,
just
I
this
think
part.
we were damn lucky, because it was starting to bubble out of there. Can I pass it around? Well, that's it, guys. Demonstration, so thank you.
I thought it was going to affect the trunk, but it must have.
It just started a bubbling area, and I quickly stopped. There's I can
There
tell.
must have been a pinhole that was leaking out, so there's probably a hollow in there instead of actually losing part of the exterior.
Or it could have been a flash.